So this is like my 5th time recording this video today. The first time my furnace kicked on and I didn't have my microphone filter settings. It just picked that up as massive background noise. It just, the other times I just lost my train of thought, and I don't know, I listened to the playback of it and I was just like, Jesus Christ, what are you talking about? You were there and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, so how's anybody else going to? So, as exhausted as I am, I'm still gonna record this again, and hopefully this is the final take. We're just gonna jump right into it because the preamble, I've done it a million times and it's gonna come out as forced and bullshit if I do it again. So we're going to go to news from Milan, Italy, and I'm not going to read the whole article, but just touch over the news there. For those of you who haven't heard, 51 children were kidnapped by a Italian citizen of Senegalese descent, an Islamist. Now they're being clear and saying he doesn't have any ties to an Islamic extremist group, but regardless of that, his political motives, which he admitted to himself, are Islamic extremist. So, whether he has ties to a group or not, that doesn't justify his actions. I mean, the Brenton Tarrant, I think his name was, from Christchurch, New Zealand. I mean, he's got no ties to an extremist group, but people would call him an extremist anyway. But we don't do that if he's Muslim. So, long story short, this guy on last Tuesday, buys a bunch of gasoline and some restraints, like zip ties, I believe. And he's a school bus driver. And he shouldn't be a school bus driver because, let me tell you, in 2007, and I believe it was 2011, he was convicted of drunk driving and then child molestation. Why he wasn't in prison? Maybe Italy has the same kind of fucking legal system that we do in America. I don't know, but he's driving a bus with that kind of credential, and so he buys the gasoline, buys restraints, and then driving his bus full of 51 children and their chaperones, I'm assuming teachers, maybe parents, volunteers, I don't know. And he just decides to kidnap them and kill them. Tells them they all have to die because of all the Muslim refugees that are dying in the ocean trying to get to Europe. Sounds like an Islamist extremist to me. I don't know. You guys form your own opinions on that. I'm not gonna tell you how to think, how to feel. I'm just presenting the facts. So he orders the chaperones to tie the children up or restrain them, and the chaperones, much to their credit, and this is after he had dumped gasoline all over, saying, "If you don't do this, I'm gonna light you on fire and kill you all." So the chaperones tied the kids up, but not real tight, right? Loose enough, so it looked like they were tied, but they weren't. He then takes all their cell phones away, but he dropped his cell phone, which one of the kids then peels off his restraints, grabs the cell phone, they call the police, the Italian police, the Carabinieri. They come in, they distract the driver, break the back window, driver realizes what's going on, lights the bus on fire, tries to kill all these children, but the cops were on it. They rescued everybody. Some people were treated at the hospital for smoke inhalation, some minor burns, but they got everybody out. Nobody was hurt, not even the terrorist, unfortunately. But nobody was killed, nothing like that. Amazing work by the Italian police. If you watch the footage there's a little bit of footage online. It's like right out of a Hollywood movie. They did a fantastic job. I don't know a lot about the Italian police. I don't know anything about them, to be honest, other than I once saw a Lamborghini with their police colors on it, which I thought was fuck, if you're going to become a cop, yeah, there you go. But amazing work. Good on them. I would hope that people, even police haters, can agree that was well done. So they arrest this guy, and he tells them his political motives behind it, but he's not an Islamist extremist. So there's that news, and you're not finding a lot of coverage over that. I've had to a couple of people have inboxed me about it, and I've had to dig semi-hard into this, which tells me it's not getting a lot of international or national or whatever. It's not getting a lot of play because it doesn't fit the narrative of you know, Muslims good, essentially. And I'm not saying all Muslims are bad, but I'm saying that if one guy goes and he kills 50 people, but then there's thousands of Islamist extremist attacks, but they're all K. My God, I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna get off this topic before I get upset again. Another one that I wanted to touch on was this bullshit from Christchurch. I mean, there's a lot of bullshit coming. Everything that's coming out of Christchurch now is bullshit and makes me think of their country as a beta cuck bunch of fucking losers, pathetic losers. And it's a joke of a country now. So, following the Christchurch attack, there's a video going around of this load of crap where these bikers, which they're tough guys because, you know, they ride a motorcycle. And let me tell you, as a guy who also rides a motorcycle, just getting on that bike and putting on that leather, that makes you a tough guy. Trust me. Nobody will give me a fucking break. You're not tough. This guy's walking around in the video with invisible Lat syndrome, chewing on gum, acting all fucking hardcore. And then they do this, like, dance thing in solidarity with the Muslims of New Zealand, and everyone's sitting around having this fucking jerk fest. My God, was it retarded. Like, it was one of those videos that was so cringy that watching this, I was embarrassed for the people doing it. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Where you're just like, what have you done? What are you doing? Like, you're not cool. I know you think you're cool, but you're the equivalent of some weeaboo in a furry suit dancing to some Japanese music in the middle of a fucking downtown Los Angeles high school or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like cringy bullshit. And I watched the crap and I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? But then I got to thinking, you know, okay, how many attacks on Islam has there been from white people? I can think of one. Christchurch, okay? How many Islamist attacks against other people have there been? And just a cursory search of Wikipedia shows thousands of them. Where are the chants and the rituals and the dances and the people gathering around to applaud it? They're non-existent. So I want to know, why is hate okay when it comes from Muslims to anyone else, but not when it comes from anyone else to Muslims? And we all know that Christchurch was bullshit anyway, even by the gunman's own thing, which was going around for a while, but obviously it doesn't fit their narrative, and that's another thing that we'll get into after this. But that his goal, his intent, was to cause civil war in the United States over gun control, and he knew that this would probably do it. Now, those are his own words. I have my own theories that go a little bit deeper, and we are going to do the video breakdown here fairly shortly, maybe as soon as this evening, if I have the time. But it sounds like bullshit to me. It's all a line. It's all pushing a narrative one way. Now the truth, and I know I say this all the time, the truth needs no defense. So when you question these things, why is it that when it's a true event, that everything's fine? No, everybody ignores you. Yeah, it's horrible, whatever. These things happen, let's move on. But when there's more to the event, they immediately label you, they brand you, they silence you, they use whatever they can to shut you down. They use terms like Islamophobe, hateful, bigot, racist, whatever they can, conspiracy theorist. I get that one a lot. And I get that one a lot not because I sit there and I'm like, I think there was a second gunman on the grassy knoll, and I just like wear my tinfoil hat. But I get people around me even labeling me as conspiracy theorist because I question things. I don't have a big theory. Like, I mean, you guys have listened to me a few times. Do you think I'm the fucking brilliant guy who has all these well thought out, weaponized autism theories? I fucking don't. I'm not that smart. But I'm smart enough to see things aren't always what they appear. So I'll just ask a question. Hey, are we fucking sure that it happened this way? Like, that doesn't make sense. What about that? And they're like, conspiracy theorist. You're like, well, okay, but like all these people crowded in the corners of the Christchurch Mosque, not running for their lives, just laying there stationary and cowering in a corner, that doesn't make sense, because if somebody ran into a church or a mosque or a fucking supermarket for that matter and started shooting it up, there would be panic. People would be running left, right, and center. There would be an active response from the people. And I mean, look, you take a crowded stadium full of people and you let a wild wolf into that and he just starts munching on people. A few people in the area, okay, are going to run away. A lot of people are going to look over and be like, what the fuck is going on there? That kind of thing. But the phobic response to an active shooter, now you take a crowded stadium and you put an active shooter in that stadium, that's going to clear the stadium like a motherfucker. Now, you got a tiny mosque with multiple exits, all right? These people hear what's going on, and their response is quick, hide in the corner from which there's no escape? What the fuck? I mean, like I said, we're going to go on that video later today or tomorrow. I know I was going to have a guest law enforcement officer, but he's had something personal come up that he's had to take care of. He's going to be gone for about a week, and I don't want to leave it that long. So we might do it tonight alone. I don't have his kind of law enforcement background, but I do have my own background, which is my own. It's irrelevant on what it is, but we'll get into that, and I'll use my background, and we'll go through that together, because there's a lot of questions. And I gotta say, like, when you start asking these questions and you're immediately labeled, you're a hateful bigot. When any kind of... So if you haven't heard, if you possess this video in New Zealand, that's punishable by up to 10 years in jail. If you're distributing it, which makes you a dealer, it's up to 14 years in jail, I believe. Well, these are real events that have occurred that people have been a part of, apparently, okay, are real events that have occurred. And so if that's true, if these things actually happened the way that you said, and see, this is why I saved a copy of the video, is because I fucking knew this shit would happen. They want to control the narrative on it. They don't want people to have access to the truth. So if it's the truth, why does it need a defense? Shouldn't the video speak for itself? Now, I know there's a lot of people who don't want to watch the video, and that's fine. You don't have to. But see, there's your personal choice. There's the personal choice that you need to leave up to people. That's called freedom, is you leave the video on the internet, okay? And then you let people decide if they want to see it for themselves or not. But no, in this case, these motherfuckers are controlling. They want to control. They can't control it because, I mean, let's face it, the internet is just, once it blows up, you're done. It's like a nude. You put a nude of yourself, a nude picture of yourself on the internet, it's never coming off, right? Like, not that anyone would want to see a nude picture of me anyway, but you can't control it. But what they do is then they make it illegal. Wow, if you have a copy of it, 10 years in jail. Motherfucker, you could rape a child in that country and get less time. What the fuck? Like, do you see what I'm saying here? And I know people say conspiracy theorist, but common sense. When you can go to jail longer for possessing a video of something that apparently happened the way they say it did, well, then you can for murder? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this guy does less time in New Zealand prison than you could get for distributing the video of what he did. And this is what we're told is supposed to be true. Fuck me, that's bullshit. Anyway, we're going to cut it off here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for hanging out. Like I said, I apologize for being gone for so long. I've just been exhausted. I say so long, it's been like 4 days, but during my work time, I had no energy. I'm going to try and get to that video today or tomorrow, like I said. I think this is the fucking third time I've said that. But drop me a line, comment, whatever. Let me know what you think. Let me know if I've missed anything or there's been news that I haven't heard about. I try not to read the news because it's all fucking lies anyway. Drop me a like if it's not too trouble. It helps me out, helps the channel out, and helps the information, at least as it were, spread to more people. I mean, YouTube is like everyone else. It wants to censor anything for wrongthink, right? It doesn't fit their narrative, so you can't have that opinion or express that opinion. Anyway, we'll see you guys in the next video.